Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson we will go through 2022 multiple choice questions. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, which of the following could be the graph of y is equal to negative 2x plus 2? So first of all, we need to know that y is equal to mx plus c. And m is the gradient. So first of all, we know that m in this case is negative 2. So let me just write this down. And the y-intercept is c. So c is 2. So it cut the y-axis at 2. And we need to know that when the gradient is positive, that is greater than 0, the line should go this way. Okay, we have positive gradient. If it's negative gradient, that is m less than 0, so we have the line go this way. So at the moment, m is negative 2. So therefore, the lines have to go this way. So that is either A or B here. So the answer either A or B. Then we can investigate further. So the y-intercept is equal to 2. So this means that it cut the y-axis at 2. So therefore, the y-axis is positive 2. So therefore, it's here. So this is the y-intercept at 2. Okay, positive. Where this one is negative. So therefore, the answer should be A. Okay, keep that in mind. Second one. Which row of the table shows how the median and range are affected when a score of 5 is added to the data set? So first of all, we just need to work out the median for this one first. Then we need to find the median after 5 is added. Okay. So first of all, we cross this 1, 2, 1, 2. So the median is in between of this. So 17 plus 17, and then we divide by 2. So therefore, the median is equal to 17. And after 5 added, so let me just cross this out. So when 5 is added, so we can see that when 5 added, 5 is the smallest value. So therefore, the mean should be smaller. Okay, so the new mean is smaller than the old mean. So this means that we can just, by looking at this, so the mean is changes and changes. So this should be wrong. So we have either A or D. So then we find the new median. Okay, the new median is we can just cross these 3 out, these 3. So therefore, the new median is still 17. So the new median. So therefore, the answer is, so the median stay the same and the mean is changes. Therefore, the answer is D. Question number 3. Which of the following is correct expressions for the length of AB? So first of all, AB is this length here. And we know that it is a right angle triangle because the right angle is shows here. So therefore, we can use SOHCAHTOA. So this angle 26 is given. So opposite of this angle here is opposite. And then AB is just next to this angle. So therefore, we call adjacent. So we have O and A. So remember, SOHCAHTOA. And we have O and A. So therefore, we use tangent, tan. So that means T of the angle that is 26 is equal to O over A. So O is H. A is AB. So there you go. So we need to solve for AB. So AB, so down the bottom, so we swap this. Okay, so that is AB is equal to AB will give me H over 10 of 26. And we don't have H over 10 of 26. But we know that 1 over 10 of 26 is cot of 26. So let me write this out so you can see H times 1 over 10 of 26. But we know that 1 over tan of 26 is equal to cot of 26. So that is equal to h cot of 26 degrees. So there you go. So the answer should be h cot of 26. So therefore is B. So there you go. Question number 4. Which of the following is the range of the functions f of x? That is x squared minus 1. So first of all, we know that x squared minus 1 is this. This is x squared, right? And then with minus 1 mean we move 1 down. So that means we move 1 unit down. So let me just cross this out and say this is x squared minus 1. So this is negative 1 here. So therefore, the range of this, the minimum value is negative 1. And it goes all the way to infinity. And that is inclusive of negative 1. So that should be the answer. So therefore, the answer should be A. From negative 1 to infinity. Number 5. So what is the gradient of the tangent to the graph of y is equal to h of x? So at x equal 1. So first of all, we know that h of x, let me just write this down here. So h of x is equal to fx over g of x. Now to work out the gradient of h of x, so first of all, we need to differentiate that first, right? So to differentiate that, so that is h dash x. So then what we do, we use quotient rule. So quotient rule is we differentiate the top functions. So f dash x, we times the bottom functions. Then we minus differentiate the bottom functions and we times by the top functions. And don't forget, we need to divide by the bottom function square. So denominator, if you like. So that's square. So there you go. But then we need to find h dash x. That is the question asking for. Okay. So let me just move this up a bit. So h dash 1. So that become f dash 1 times g of 1. We minus g dash 1 and we times f of 1. So f of 1 over, so g of 1 or square. So there you go. So now we just substitute the value in and it should give us the answer. So that will give me, so f dash 1 is 4. And then g of 1 is 8. So we times by 8. And we minus g dash 1. So that is 12. So we minus 12 with times f of 1. So f of 1 is 2. So we just times by 2. And over g of 1 square. And we know that g of 1 is 8. So 8 square is 64. Okay, just write 64 we do. So what I do now is I just put down on a calculator. So I just go fractions. 4 times 8 is 32. We minus 24 because 12 times 2 is 24 over 64 because 8 squared is 64. So there you go, 1 8. So the answer is D. So there you go. Question number 6. So to do this, first of all, we need to move the 2x plus 1 power of 2, move it up first, okay, to become negative index. So that is exactly the same as integral 2x plus 1 power of negative 2 and dx. And this references give us this. So if we integrate f dash x, f of x power of n dx, that will give us 1 over n plus 1 and f of x power of n plus 1. Of course, we add a c. So therefore, so if we differentiate 2x plus 1, will give us 2. So to make it f dash x times f of x power of n, so what I do, I times this by 2. So that will become f dash x times f of x power of n, right? Because I times 2 I need to divide by 2 or times a half in front here. So there you go. So this will equal to this form here. Because f dash x is 2, f of x is equal to 2x plus 1, right? So now we just apply the rule. So we just add 1 to this, will give me -1. So let me just write this down. So become a half first, and we times by 1 over n plus 1. So -2 plus 1 is -1. So 1 divided by -1. And then we have f of x. So f of x is 2x plus 1. Power of n plus 1. So -2 plus 1 is -1. So we add a c. So there you go. So let me just simplify this a bit further. So this is exactly the same as, so this group times together will give me -1/2. So that becomes -1 over 2 and then 2x plus 1 power of -1 add a c. So there you go. So what I need to do now is I just need to make the 2x plus 1 power of -1 become positive index. So I just need to move it down. So that becomes -1 over 2. We need to bring this down. So become bracket 2x plus 1. Add a c. So there you go. So let's have a look. So that should be b. So this one is exactly the same as -1, like that, if you like. So the answer is b. Number 7. Consider the following graph of a probability density functions f of x. What is the value of the mode? So remember, the mode is the value of x that gives the maximum value of f of x. So therefore, the maximum value of f of x is this point here. So that is when x is equal to pi over 4. So therefore, the mode is pi over 4. So which is c. There you go. Question 8. The graph of the even functions y is equal to f of x is shown. So even functions, it means that area B is equal to this area here. So this is B as well. And area I is equal to this area because it's even functions. So now what we need to do is we know that area I here is a half and area B is 3 over 2. But then if we integrate from 1 to 2, that is region B. So that gives us a negative because it's underneath of the x-axis. So the answer should be negative, right? Because with area, we ignore the negative. Remember that, okay? So now what we do, now to evaluate this, so we just need to add all these values together. That is, this is B, and this is I, we just add them up. So in another word, B plus B is 2B. And we just go 2A plus 2B. That's what that meant. But we know that B is negative 3 over 2. So let me just write this down. And we go 2 lots of A. A is a half. And then we add 2 lots of B. And we know that B is negative 3 over 2. Like this. So what I do now is I just cancel this. That give me 1. And we minus this, cancel out, give me 3. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So therefore the answer should be C. So there you go. Question 9. Liam is playing 2 games. He is equally likely to win each game. The probability that Liam will win at least one of the games is 80%. Which of the following closest to the probability that Liam will win both games? So to work this out, first of all, let's do tree diagram first, okay? So the first game, either win or not winning, okay? Because we don't know what is the probability that Liam is winning, okay? So we just write P first. So because the probability winning is P, so therefore not winning will be 1 minus that, okay? So 1 minus P. And the second game has this exactly the same probability of winning. So therefore win is P. And not winning, of course, is 1 minus P. And either win, which is P, or not win is 1 minus P. And we know that the probability that Liam will win at least one game is 0.8. So in another word, at least one game is either this, this, this. If we add them together, will give us 80%. So that is 0.8. And so therefore, we know that this probability here will give me 0.2 because the probability add up must give me one whole. So keep that in mind. So what I do, I just solve these equations. So that is 1 minus P times 1 minus P. That is this 1 minus P will give me 0.2. And that is equal to 1 minus P squared will give me 0.2. So if I square root both sides, so that is 1 minus P is equal to plus or minus. Of course, every time we square root a number, we should have a positive and a negative number. So like this. So there you go. So therefore, what I do, I move the P on that side and I move this on that side. So and minus move over becomes plus. So they still give me 1 plus or minus. It's the same. Square root of 0.2. So that is P. So now therefore, P equal. So what I do, I just put that on a calculator. 1 minus square root of 0.2. So there you go. 0.5527 and so on. I just store that in memory. I answer shift store in I. So 0.5527 and so on. So 0.5527 and so on. Okay. So or P equal, we do the positive one, 1 plus square root of 0.2. So that is 1.447. 1.447. But then we know that probability cannot be greater than 1. So this is not the answer. So therefore, P is equal to 0.5527. So the question is, which of the following is closest to the probability that Liam will win both games? So that means this branch here. So P times P. So that is P squared. So therefore, to find P squared, so I already store that in memory I. So let me just put that on a calculator. So I just go 0.5527 square. So that is alpha I. That is P. So I square it. So there you go. 0.3055 and so on. So the closest answer is 0.31. So therefore, this is, so that means P square is 0.305 and so on. So to convert to percentage, we just times by 100. So 30.55 and so on. So that means the closest one is 31%. So there you go. Last one. The graph of y is equal to f of x and y equal to g of x unshown. Which graph best represent y is equal to g of f of x? So to work it out, let me just predict f of x and g of x first. Okay, so then we can work it out from there. It's just a rough sketch so we can see the behavior of each graph A, B, C, and D. And we can eliminate the wrong one out and we choose the correct one. Okay, that's the best way to do. So first of all, we know that this, it could be x squared. Okay, so that's same family. It could be like 2x squared, 3x squared. We're not sure, or half of x squared because draw not to scale. So which is roughly x squared. And we know that the second one, g of x, is, remember, if we have this, so that means 1 over x. Correct? Because it's hyperbolic functions. So now it's moved all the way to 0 here. So that means it moved 1 this side because this is 0. So therefore, if we move roughly, okay, so with that means it's plus 1. So this means that 1 over x minus 1 because it's moved 1 unit to the right. And what happened is if it moved 1 unit to the right and the graph go like this, move 1 to the right. But then you can see it move up, it cut the x-axis and the y-axis at 0. So move 1 up, okay, which is roughly. So we add 1. So that becomes this graph. And just roughly, okay. So now this is g of x. So there you go. Now we need to work out y is equal to g of f of x. So let me just write this on here. G of f of x. So that's gx, okay? So now every time we see x, we replace with f of x. And f of x is x squared. So now we just go 1 over x, but x replace with x squared. So now minus 1 plus 1. So there you go. It's just roughly, okay? If you think about it, okay? When x become a really large number, so this means that 1 over, so x squared become even larger. So minus the number 1, so still give you a large number. So 1 over large number is become 0. So it's approach to 1. So left, because this is 0 plus 1. So that become 1. So therefore, this graph is wrong because when x approach to infinity, very large number, so y must approach to 1. So then this is, it could be this one, or that one, right? So far. So keep that in mind. And what happened next is, when x is approach to negative infinity. So when x approach to negative infinity, so same rule apply. So negative infinity, let's say a negative large number. When you square it, still give you positive, big number. So therefore, a big number minus 1 will give you a large number as well. So 1 over large number becomes 0. So it also approaching to 1. So this means that is either this questions is correct or this. So therefore, this is wrong. So and now, so x squared minus 1 is different of 2 squared, right? So it's, we can factorize this. So let me clear this. So this is exactly the same as 1 over x minus 1, x plus 1. We add 1. So therefore, the vertical asymptote, in another word, x cannot be equal to negative 1 or x cannot be equal to 1. So the vertical asymptote is 1 and negative 1. So therefore, it's here. This is vertical asymptote. And this is vertical asymptote, only 1. So therefore, the answer should be B. So there you go. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.